Festus, the Roman governor, tried to make sense of Paul's case. He was not angry, he was not hostile, he was just confused. And then he said the sentence that shines like a cold light over the whole story. They had differences of opinion about their religion and about a dead man named Jesus whom Paul claimed had come back to life. Welcome to the Sebcast, the home of the #1 network for your life. This is where we hear stories anew, look deeper, and discover together how Jesus works today. It's one of the most honest summaries of the gospel in the Bible, not a confession of faith, not a sermon, just an outsider's observation. A dead man, and someone is making trouble about it. For Rome, it wasn't the idea of a religious debate that was disturbing. Rome could handle that. What Rome couldn't handle was a resurrection, because if someone who was executed is alive, then no authority is absolute anymore. The resurrection is not just a personal comfort, it's a public disruption. If Jesus lives, it means the world doesn't work the way we think. Power is redefined. Truth is no longer determined by who has the most enormous army. Life is no longer limited by death. That's why Festus didn't know what to do. This case didn't fit in a Roman report. No crime, no rebellion, no political agenda, just this one claim: Jesus lives. In the #1 network for your life, where we believe God is moving, where we live, work, and play, it's still disruptive. Because if Jesus lives, we can't limit faith to Sundays or church services. It affects how we work, how we handle relationships, how we approach conflict, and how we hold on to hope. Many people are comfortable with a dead Jesus, an inspiring figure, a moral example, someone we can admire. But a living Jesus demands a response, and the response is always uncomfortable. That's why invitations are so important. Not to convince people, but because we believe something real has happened, and that it's too important to keep to ourselves. When you invite someone to a conversation about faith, you're not inviting them to an opinion, you're inviting them to a story that is still ongoing. Festus wanted to close a case. God wanted to sustain a movement. And 2,000 years later, we're still talking about that dead man. Not because Paul was successful, but because Jesus lives. Please focus this year on one person or family whom you will invite multiple times to join our church or to return. Be that person whose name will always be part of someone else's faith story, and trust God to handle the rest. Until tomorrow, take care.